I'm really proud to be running for mayor. It really symbolizes the fact that really, if I can do this, anybody can do this. I come from Yorkton, and my mom and dad were very young. It was a teen pregnancy. And when I was born, they were 16 and 17. And had a shotgun wedding, tried to make it work, but it didn't. And lucky for me and for them, my grandma and grandpa were available to support me. And it was a very busy house that I moved into there. They had boarders and they had young foster kids, and they found space for me. But the expectation, though, was that I would work hard just like everybody else. And before I could even get my hands over the counter, I was helping doing the dishes, doing chores. I used to make an allowance of $5 every couple weeks, and I'd go to the movie. My grandma would go to the hair salon, and I'd meet her for coffee after and visit with all the ladies. And my grandma had the most amazing beehive. And if beehives were in fashion, I'm pretty sure my hair would do that now. But it was a home where I learned about hard work. Don't expect something for nothing, and definitely don't make a fuss about yourself. And that's been a hard thing not to do during this campaign, because anyone running for mayor knows that you gotta be able to speak to your qualifications and your experience. But for me, it's about serving people. And what I learned in my childhood is that we are all equal. We all are valuable. We all have a contribution, and we all can make a difference in whatever place or wherever we come from and whatever our circumstance. Turns out that I was the first person in my family to graduate from high school, and I thought that was a huge accomplishment, actually. And then I met a really amazing person, a woman named Rosalind Woodcock, who I worked with at the Travel Lodge, and she was always talking about city planning and city issues. And one day I asked her, "Where are you learning all this stuff?" And she said, "University." And I'd said, "University? Well, do you think I could go too?" And she said, "Sure." And, for me, that was a big deal, because prior to that, when I came to live with my dad when I was 10, the first few years were good. But as he and my stepmom began to have a family, I was a lot older than everyone else. And there were times where it wasn't easy. And I actually ended up being kicked out of the home. And I did have to live on social assistance for a short time. I lived in a vehicle. I struggled to find my way. So the idea of being able to go to university was so exciting to me, and to have this mentor help me to do that, I'll forever be grateful for. And it turns out I found my passion, city planning, regional urban development, and I ended up doing well in school. Not initially. I took a psychology class that showed that there was this gap between people who are doing poor and people who are doing well, and I saw that I was sort of below this regression line, and I thought, if I'm ever going to make it, I got to get myself up. And the next class, next exam, the professor said, "Whoever this person was that went from failing to being in the top of the class, that defies the odds." And that was me, and that's how I've always approached my life, I guess, is trying to defy the odds. And I know that there's a lot of people out there who are trying to defy the odds, and I hope that you see that I'm somebody who understands what you're going through, the hope that you have, but that you need opportunities. You need somebody who believes in you, who believes in our city, who believes in the opportunities that Saskatoon has, and that's something I'm passionate about. Through university, and then when I became a planner, I found my passion, and I knew I was on the right course. And I've always lived my life wanting to serve and make a difference. I didn't know how, but I knew I wanted to make a difference. And I'm very grateful to be running for mayor. It would be an honor for me to serve the citizens of Saskatoon. I will listen to your concerns. I will look for ways to make your quality of life better, to bring people together regardless of their circumstances, and to be able to have a city that is truly prosperous and inclusive for everybody. Something that has never deterred me are obstacles. In fact, I get inspired by them, because I really think that we can make a difference. And when somebody says, "Well, we've done that," or "We've been there," or "There's no way," it motivates me more to find a way to make things better. And there's been some examples in my career and my life. One was around same-gendered marriage, where we heard the provincial government at the time say, they weren't going to legally challenge anyone who tried to get married. They weren't going to stand in the way, but they also weren't going to take any initiative. And my partner Lenore and I, we decided that, okay, well, it's time to stand up and change legislation and make an opportunity for inclusion and equity for all people in Saskatchewan. And so we were part of 5 couples. We were one of the couples that helped to make same-gendered marriage legal here in Saskatchewan. Some of the other things that I've helped to trailblaze were around local area planning, where there was a belief that the citizens couldn't be engaged in decisions that affect them, that it was better to have bureaucrats or elected representatives to make those decisions. But working in neighborhoods like Pleasant Hill, Caswell Hill, King George, Riversdale, we proved them wrong. We were able to put a plan together under a vision, a shared vision, values, and find a common path forward. And that led to a lot of investment in those communities. And I saw people who at the time of first getting engaged were unemployed, who were disenfranchised, come alive at feeling that their voice mattered, that they could make a difference in their community. And what they needed was somebody to listen, somebody to clear away the obstacles and to help move public policy forward. And that's what we did. We changed land use patterns, zoning, transportation networks, paved roads, got new schools, integrated services. And that's because the community voice was heard in that process. My vision for Saskatoon is that it is a place of opportunity for everybody, no matter what their circumstances, no matter where they live, no matter what their socioeconomic backgrounds are, or where they came from, with their faith or their sexual orientation or their culture. What's important to me is that everybody feels included and is able to access the opportunities that Saskatoon has to offer, and that we continue to create new opportunities. I believe in a city that is going to be sustainable for today's generation and for future generations. And that means that we have transit that is accessible to everybody, that we have small business and entrepreneurship that gets young people and the Indigenous, the Métis communities passionate about their future, where there's hope, where they see that they belong and that they can have a good income, have a home, even home ownership, and that they can raise a family and have a good life here. I also see that we need to be safe. Everybody, no matter where they live and work, needs to feel safe in Saskatoon. And I think we can be one of the safest cities in Canada with pride. And I also think that we can have a good quality of life here in Saskatoon. There's many things that are incredible about this city, but being able to be age friendly, that this is a place where seniors want to grow old. And I firmly believe that if we make Saskatoon age friendly for our elderly population or our aging population, then we make Saskatoon friendly for everybody. And it has to start with just a different lens on things, a different attention to detail. And that's something that I will be advocating for, that I will be working hard to make happen. As a leader, it's important to me to make sure that I am looking at all the different views, that I'm looking at both the data, the analysis, and best practice, and that I am ensuring that I am balanced in the decisions that are being made and taking the information and making sure that the public understands the decisions that are also being made, why they're being made, and that they can see themselves in those decisions and know that their contribution made a difference. And for me, it's important that we also celebrate our successes, but we also need to acknowledge where improvements are needed. And I will be open and transparent with you and looking to you to tell us as a city and as your elected representatives what we can do to better serve you. Because at the end of the day, it's important that everybody feels included in the future of Saskatoon and knows that their voice matters. And I will be listening. So please don't hope for change. Please vote for change and expect more from your mayor and vote more me, please, on October 26th. Thank you.